What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 40 of the Bubba Speed career mode in MotoGP 20. And it is time for Bubba Speed to make his long-awaited debut on the KTM in MotoGP. It's finally time, man. Like, this is something I've been waiting for a very long time. Unfortunately, I don't have that much time to play, so it's taking me a little bit longer than I would have liked. But we are finally here. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. This is actually like my first time racing on the regular MotoGP bikes, because I've pretty much only played career mode except for every once in a while some of the historical challenges, and I've only used the classic bikes like the old 4-strokes and a lot of the 500. So this is like, I think maybe one or two times I've used the actual MotoGP bikes, and as you can see in qualifying, not doing well. I've been practicing my absolute fucking ass off. I think I've done a total of like 2 or 3 hours at this point, considering all this. I'm well over 2 hours of practice and qualifying and actual racing done. So it's been a learning process. Like, I was wondering, like, why so many people complain about the game, and because in Moto2 and Moto3 I didn't have any issues at all. But I have to say, like, god damn, is it hard on these bikes. Like, you barely tap the front brake and you are going to you're gonna crash. It's insane. Like, and that's on regular physics. You know, I'm not on simulation. I'm not on any kind of high difficulty. Nothing. It's just like it is very, very it's very punishing, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Like, that needs to be remembered. That needs to be taken into consideration. Is that hard isn't bad. Pause. Especially in other cases. But yeah, even in video games, hard isn't bad. You know, like, or not necessarily. It depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for something easy, then this is not the game for you, or maybe you should put on like some physics to where you just don't crash. Like, that's fair enough if that's what makes you happy. That's what you enjoy. That's the most important thing about video games, is having fun and enjoying what you're doing. If not, then what is the point? Like, there is absolutely no point. It's not supposed to be stressful. It's supposed to be fun, and it's supposed to be something you can look forward to at the end of a hard, long day or whatever. You know, like if you're a student or if you work, whatever, it's something you should be enjoying. So if hard isn't what you want, pause, then it is what it is. You know, change it and do what's best for you. But like, for me, I do really look forward to getting decent with on these MotoGP bikes. I felt like I got a lot better. I think I started I think the opponents were doing, I think like the fastest guy in practice was doing 156 flats. I was doing like 159s at first, 158.8s, stuff like that, trying to do the development test, which, by the way, I failed every single one. I wasn't able to do a single development test in all of free practice 1, all of free practice 2, and then yeah, so it's been a nightmare for me. Like, I've been extremely unsuccessful, but I went from doing like high 159s and down to high 158s, and then I got all the way down to mid 157s. So, you know, to be fair to me, I have been working my ass off, and I have gotten a lot faster. It's going to take a lot of time, which isn't necessarily a good thing for me because I don't have that much time. But having a full-time job and trying to work this YouTube channel, trying to do Twitch every once in a while as much as I can, plus all the family issues, stuff like that. It's not easy. It is definitely not easy, but I'm trying my best to make everything work and enjoy this as much as I can, because for me personally, like, something that I really like about this game is the fact that it does go towards a more realistic approach to motorcycle racing, and that's something I've wanted for a long time, not being, you know, very generic gameplay wise. And so it's going to be difficult at first, but I do have a feeling that once I get used to it, once I get decent at it, it's going to be very, very rewarding. Kind of like a Dark Souls in MotoGP form, only hopefully, unlike Dark Souls or unlike Bloodborne, I will actually be able to finish what I start in this. So I do look forward to seeing what we can do. The difficulty, I ended up just leaving at 85% or 90%, whatever it is, because, you know, obviously in Moto2 we were very fast, we were dominant, I felt really, really good on that bike, and I felt just really comfortable with the gameplay and the physics. And we won most races. We were able to do really well, even starting from dead last. So I thought coming into MotoGP, maybe the difficulty would need to be raised, but to be honest, considering my issues with learning MotoGP, like the way the bikes are, I think this is probably the right difficulty, because it's going to force me to improve to where it's like, okay, if it's on 70 or something easy like that, then I'm still going to win even if I'm shit. But on this difficulty here, I have to work my ass off to improve, and that will inevitably make me better and then bring me up to where I'm going to raise the difficulty higher and higher as we go on through the seasons, because I intend on playing this at least until we win a championship. That's the goal. Obviously, want to win the championship on, so, you know, hopefully with one team at least. But definitely, I would like to win it at least on paper with the Ducati too, because I think they need a win, and I would love to do that. Being Italian-based, being half American, half Italian, obviously, you know, I would love to see somebody win on the Ducati, and that would be a nice thing for me to do, because I do actually like the Ducati. It's just unfortunately they don't really, I don't know, year after year they seem like they never really take that next step to be truly competitive on a consistent basis. So that's a shame. But the KTM, let's go ahead and talk about the bike. Now in testing, which I didn't show because I was completely garbage, it wasn't worth showing, trust me. There was nothing good to show. Essentially, when you start the winter tests, obviously you can only do one. I think it was in Malaysia, which is a track that I'm terrible at, so that didn't even help. They give you an option. No, sorry, they give you 3 options to choose from. You can do, I think it's an hour in total for the testing, and essentially in that hour, you do as many laps as you want / can, and it saves your average times for each package that you can use. I went ahead and I think I chose package 2 because the first one I didn't feel comfortable at all. I don't know, I was just sliding everywhere. I didn't feel like I had any kind of traction. I didn't feel like I had any kind of stability on the bike as we crashed out our teammate Brad Binder, which is not something we want. But hey, at least there's good news. Whatever happens, we are going to be better than at least one of our teammates, so that's always a good thing. But yeah, so package 2, I tried that, and I instantly, I think, dropped about like 9/10 of a second, like that, which is, you know, that's pretty damn good considering how bad I was. And all of a sudden, I was at least almost a second faster, which is, you know, that's a very, very, very big amount of time. So instantly, that's the one that caught my eye, and I just felt like, okay, if anything, I know at least which one I'm not going to go with, which is package 1. Then I tried package 3 after a few laps. I didn't dislike it, but I just felt like maybe it had a little bit more top speed, because I did notice that I was a little bit faster on straightaways, but I was definitely losing a lot in terms of my stability coming into corners, because that's my biggest issue is I lose a lot of traction going in the you know, not really that I lose a lot of traction, it's just that I do have a hard time, you know, losing the front, and I just felt like with that package I had a lot more stability. So that's the one I went with. Like I said, I was unable to do any successful tests in practice, which is obviously a problem because I need as much development points as I possibly can to get this KTM going. Because obviously, like, I don't think it's controversial to say that in MotoGP, obviously this year in real life was a very strange one, like with COVID and everything. It was a whole, I don't know, it just felt like everything was confused, everything was out there. There wasn't a lot of good preparation. The fact that Marquez was out, it just kind of felt like everything was just kind of chaotic and nothing really made sense, which is why, obviously, you know, nobody would have expected Suzuki to win. Nobody would have expected Joan Mir to win. So that's obviously, and of course, Bubba Speed crashes out. That's a shame because, like, obviously, 14th position is nothing to write home about, but I would have been happy with at least getting in the top 15, at least getting, you know, a couple of points. I wouldn't have been against that, but yeah, crashed out. That's just kind of typical of MotoGP bikes in this game. Is you barely tap the front brake when you're in the corner, and you're gonna crash. And I get that's realistic. I don't know how much. I would like to have my opinion from my father, who I mentioned before used to race. Obviously, he can give me a lot more insight on actually riding a competitive bike. You know, not a MotoGP. Obviously, that's absurd. But you know, having experience actually racing, I'm sure he can give me good insight on. Obviously, I've already known that braking in the middle of a corner is not good, but I think it's fair to say that considering how much everybody complains, it is a little bit exaggerated. And I would honestly like to see like his opinion playing this, to see like what he thinks of it actually. And obviously, racing in a video game and racing in real life is very, very different. But I feel like this game is the most accurate that I've played ever, at least in terms of what I could imagine and what I've heard from people with experience. It feels like this is the most accurate, but the front brake thing is definitely an issue. And I think that's going to cost me a lot going forward. But that's the biggest thing I have to get used to, because not only do you crash obviously if you make a mistake and hit the front brake a little bit going through a corner, but that fear of tapping the front brake also slows you down for the rest of the track. I'm sure that's something that will disappear for me as we almost crash out again, but as of right now, it is most certainly an issue that I have to get used to. As I was saying, like, I don't think it's controversial to say that the KTM is not a bike that can realistically be expected to win, especially in this game. Starting from scratch, having to develop the thing from being as bad as it can possibly be, it's going to take a little bit of time. And I feel like we will finally have an answer to my question, which is something I probably could have researched but never did. Do your development points and does what you developed carry over to the next season? So, for example, if I finish this season with almost everything upgraded, etc., whatever I've upgraded, will it go on to the next season? Will I have it already upgraded? Or do I have to redo that every single season? Because in real life, obviously, you kind of have to do that every single season unless you use the same exact stuff from the year before. As we get a penalty, it wouldn't be a Bubba Speed video without a penalty. Or is it a bit more, is a little bit less punishing where you carry over if you want to, like, stick with the same package and stick with the same team, etc. I would hope so, but I don't actually have my hopes up for that. I don't think that's going to be the case, but I do look forward to seeing what happens. So I think it's going to take a little bit of time to get used to the class and the bike itself, and realistically the bike isn't that competitive. I mean, you saw Brad Binder was out there around 14th position. I don't think Espargaro is that much higher. He is, I would say, better than Binder, to be fair, but I don't think he's going to be that much higher in the game. So we'll see where he's at come the end of the race. But for me, like right now, obviously the team objective, or not obviously, but I know it because I signed the damn contract. The team objective is to finish in the championship in the top 5, which is considering how difficult this has been so far, that's a pretty big ask. And in terms of qualifying and stuff like that, finish in qualify in the top 10. Sorry for the yawn, guys. I am sleepy as hell, but I want to get this stuff out there for you guys, for the few of you that really watch this. I know that you do enjoy it, and I want to keep you guys as happy as I possibly can. But yeah, like I think it's top 10 for qualifying, so it's not gonna, or maybe it's top 15, but it's not gonna be easy at all to satisfy those demands, and it really is important to get this bike going and being stable and being as fast as possible, because right now it's looking like it's going to be a very, very hard uphill battle. As Marc Marquez, unsurprisingly, it wins the first race, followed by Andrea Dovizioso, then Maverick Vinales, then Cal Crutchlow, Fabio Quartararo, Valentino Rossi, Jack Miller, Alex Rins, and Alex Marquez finish the top 10. So obviously you can see there's no KTMs in the top 9. I don't think there's going to be anybody in the top 10. I don't know who's in 10th, but I doubt it's a KTM. So it's fair to say that this bike is it definitely requires a lot of work, and it's definitely it's gonna be a long road. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, see, there's no KTMs up there at all. There you go. No KTM, 0 points in general. So obviously we didn't do very well. Not us. None of the KTM riders did very well. None of us got a single point. So all outside of the top 15, which is a very, very bad start. But hopefully this will be kind of like in Moto3, where we started off poorly and then we ended up, I think, finishing second or third. So hopefully it'll be something like that. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and let me know in the comment section down below what you thought of this very, very poorly executed debut for Bubba Speed and what you think his future holds. I will see you in the next video.